beyond their studies. They want to study more.
And if you are to move from post-war to post-conflict, we have to ensure that we address the sources of conflict. We cannot sustain them, and we certainly mustn't reproduce them.
What was the cause of the ethnic conflict initially was not the demand for power sharing, but the fact that there was no power sharing, and that the Tamils were effectively excluded from all powers of governance.
We have had the Tamil issue, which has, because of the strength of the diaspora, turned into a racial issue, but it was almost a class, a geographical deprivation issue.
The crux of the issue today, how to devolve power from Colombo and allow Tamils in the north and east greater control over their own lives.
We are concerned about law and order. We are concerned about resources in our territory, like land. We want to have adequate power in these areas.
Whatever powers you devolve, there must be some powers at the center, and in particular those that relate to security. Not only military and internal security, but financial security, ultimately food security.
If economic development is seen by the people in those areas as being mega development projects which don't answer to their needs with regard to land, with regard to farming, with regard to fishing, then we're only sustaining the sources of conflict.
We can't give them political rights if they don't have economic self-sufficiency, if they're dependent.
But is economic self-sufficiency enough to reconcile a nation fractured by nearly 3 decades of fighting? That's the social experiment playing out in Sri Lanka today, one that comes with big stakes.
Coming up after the break, we speak with Sri Lanka's President Mahinda Rajapaksa in his first international interview since the end of the country's civil war. He outlines the challenges of uniting a war-torn nation. Stay with 101 East. Welcome back to 101 East. This week we are in Sri Lanka as the nation celebrates its first anniversary after the end of the near 30-year civil war. Speaking exclusively to us now is President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. 1 year on after declaring victory over the Tamil Tigers, how do you think your country is doing?
Now people are moving freely to north, from north to south, from south to north. So people are mixing. So they do their businesses. People are getting used to each other. They have started to trust each other. So this is the only process that we can depend on.
But a year on, you may have ended the war. Some people, though, are saying that you have not actually addressed the grievances that started the war in the first place. The Tamil community still feels marginalized. How do you go about addressing such an issue?
I don't agree with that, because some politicians are making this issue, or some NGOs. Now if you go to the camps and if you ask them, what do you want first? They will say, I want my house back. I want a job. I want to educate my children. They will not ask for anything else. So, first what we must do is, we must resettle all these people. Give them the facilities. Give them the things that are enjoyed by others in the south. Why not? So, let them enjoy that first. Then the people will, now they have elected their own representatives to parliament, to provincial councils. And so let them, now we can discuss with them. We can have a dialogue.
What do you then say to the Tamil diaspora that are overseas that say you are not doing anything for the Tamil community?
Unfortunately, this is the problem, because they don't want to come back to Sri Lanka. They are well, they are enjoying them. They have never visited Jaffna. They have never visited beyond Colombo, I would say, to the north. They don't know the problems of the people. They have not met the people. They have not discussed with them. Now I am meeting the common man, whether in Jaffna or in the Trincomalee or Batticaloa. When I go, I speak to the ordinary people, the masses. But find out from these people whether they have been to Jaffna, whether they have gone to Kilinochchi.
You now have Tamil groups who say that they want representation. You have Tamil politicians who say that they want bigger representation of the community. How can you trust these people?
No, I will trust. I mean, I trust them. They have to trust us also. I trust them. So I have to, that's why I call them for a dialogue with me. Otherwise I won't have, because I know that they, most of these politicians who supported the Tiger movement, the terrorists, they represented them in parliament. But now it's up to us. So we have called them. They have to come here. They must understand our difficulties also.
Which are?
So I mean the government difficulties. And they must compromise. They have to compromise. I mean, we are ready to compromise. Because for me, whether they are Tamil, Muslim or Sinhalese, is immaterial.
You inherited this long drawn out war. You ended this war. Do you think, in your mind, was it inevitable to lose that many civilian lives, especially towards the end of the war?
I denied it, because we never killed any civilians.
You can categorically, confidently say that the Sri Lankan army never targeted civilians?
No.
How sure are you? How can you be that sure? It's a war.
It's a war, it's all right, but the way the people came to decide, to the government controlled areas, you can see otherwise, if Sri Lankan army acted in a different way against the civilians, they would have never trusted us. They would have walked into our camps. They just walked into our camps, 300,000 people. So that shows that our army, they trusted our army. They trusted our army, otherwise they would have walked in. I mean, this is why I am saying this.
If you are so confident that the Sri Lankan army did not commit any crimes or war crimes during the conflict, why not allow for an independent body to come in and make their own independent investigation?
This is the internal matter. I mean, I don't want my internal matters to be inquired by any other country or any other NGOs. So we will look after that. That's why I have appointed a commission. So if there is any violations, we will see.
So you're saying that this commission you've appointed will investigate alleged war crimes?
No, I mean, if there is anything like that, they will come and complain to us. Then we will inquire into it.
Will you take action against those who committed these alleged war crimes?
Yes, certainly, certainly.
Even if they're on your side, even if they're connected to you?
If it is a crime, whether if I did do, whether it is my relation, my army commander or anybody, it's immaterial. It's a crime. Crime is a crime. So we have to punish them. So we can't punish a person for defeating terrorism. So if the international community wants to punish Sri Lanka for defeating terrorism, I'm not for that.
You can understand the international community's concern, though. If you have an internal investigation, a government that is investigating itself, yes, in terms of, I mean, where is the transparency? How can we be assured that it will be fair and just and transparent?
You don't ask that from the Americans. You don't go and ask that from the British or any other country about Iraq or Afghanistan or what is happening in Pakistan. This is, I mean, be fair with us. Be fair with us. don't treat Sri Lanka because we are like this, because we defeated terrorism. Unfortunately, other countries couldn't defeat terrorism yet, though we have done that.
Earlier this year, you had an overwhelming electoral victory, and so did some of your family members as well. Now, some of your family members are in very high positions in your cabinet. You have brothers in the economic development post, in the defense secretary post, as Speaker of Parliament. There are some 300 other relations who do occupy important government. You can see from the outside world, you can see from the outside that...
So who gave that figures? 300 relations in my... I will tell you, the whole country is related to me. I must tell you, whole country.
It's a huge family.
Huge family.
But you can see how there is the accusation of nepotism
How can you
against
say that
you because your family members are in very high positions here.
No,
there
they
is
have been
the
elected.
accusations
Yeah,
that
they have been elected by the people. So you think that the
and
people must
appointed
not,
into very important positions here.
No, only one. Now he is a minister. So tell me, how many? He is a minister. Then I have appointed Gotabaya as the defense secretary, yes.
That's a very important position that you've
so why
appointed
not?
to.
I have to trust my defense secretary.
And the only person you can trust is those in your family?
Huh?
The only person you can trust
No,
to be in
no,
charge of
I
the
have-
defense is your family member?
He is capable, and he has shown that he is capable, right? And I can trust him, so why not?
What do you then say to critics who say that you are now building the Rajapaksa political dynasty?
I won't. Why should I? It's up to the people. People are electing them. What can I do about it? When they don't want them, they will kick them out. All Rajapaksas will be kicked out. So they have to deliver. If Rajapaksas are delivering, what else they want?
Will you be changing the constitution to get rid of the president's term limit?
It's up to the parliament.
Are you in favor of
Yes,
such
I
amendments?
don't mind whether it's presidential system or the prime ministerial system. I have no problem because I'm going to win again.
You're confident of
Yes,
winning
so
again.
much, yes.
Why do you say that? Why are you so confident that you will win again?
People will trust me. I know that people will trust me. When I asked for 2/3 majority, they gave me.
It has been said that you have no tolerance towards any form of opposition. Any form of political opposition.
No,
What do you say to that?
I completely reject that. This is all propaganda.
By whom?
By the opposition. By the opposition and the NGOs who had been paid by some of these other organizations.
Going forward, and as Sri Lanka tries to rebuild itself coming out of this near 30-year war, and reconciliation, as you say, is trying to take place, what do you think is the biggest obstacle that faces your people?
We have to build that trust as soon as possible, and it's building up. This is the challenge that we are ready to take. So, as you know, after 30 years, we took that challenge to defeat terrorism. So we took that challenge and won. Now it is the economic development. So we take that challenge and do that. And within 1 year, we resettle the people. 90% had been resettled. So within December, everyone will be resettled in this country.
Mr. President, thank you for speaking with us. And that's all the time we have for this edition of 101 East from the team here in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Thanks for watching.